I'm James Cogsworth. Welcome to this week's edition of Art Gallery Review. I'm here on Bleecker Street with two of my good friends, Sarah Jameson
Hi, James.
and Marcus Reed.
And a good evening to you too, James.
We've just had a great dinner down at the venerable pizza restaurant, John's at Bleecker Street. Over dinner, we looked at the fall catalog for the Knight Brown Gallery. I'm curious, what do the two of you think about tonight's gallery opening?
It's our pleasure, James. It's good that we had time to go through the catalog.
Did you notice how beautifully curated this show is? The way they've brought together 5 artists who are all sort of straddling different worlds.
Yes, like Tad Nakamura's still lifes. They're technically photographs, but they feel more like Dutch Golden Age paintings. That piece, Tranquility 12 on the cover. The way he captures that single carnation against the dark background. It's minimalist, but so dramatic.
And speaking of straddling worlds, what about Lulu Chen's landscapes? They remind me of traditional Chinese scroll paintings, but with this very California sensibility. That Tomales Bay piece really captures that Bay Area fog, but the technique is pure sumi-e.
It's funny. Someone could look at her work and Fred Livingstone's pieces and think they couldn't be more different, but they're both essentially painting their homelands. His corn harvest is just spectacular. The way he captures that golden light on the kernels, those dramatic vertical streaks.
And you can tell he really knows his subject matter. That's not just a painting of corn. That's a painting by someone who understands corn, if that makes sense. The same way Ken Nishida's fish prints show his deep connection to marine life.
Oh, those fish prints. I love how he's taking this super traditional Japanese technique. Gyotaku was originally just a way for fishermen to record their catches, and turning it into these sophisticated compositions. That piece, No Schooling Around, with all those blue fish, it's both playful and elegant.
But can we talk about Harry Jones for a minute? His work is really the outlier here, but in a good way. Those stripe paintings are fascinating, especially that COVID piece. The way he's turned 9 months of pandemic life into those fractured, colourful columns.
Right? It's like a visual diary, but one that anyone can relate to. You can feel the isolation, the disruption. Though I have to say, I prefer his Friends Help Each Other piece. Those flowing, organic curves and earth tones. It feels hopeful.
You know what strikes me about all 5 artists? They're all deeply rooted in tradition, whether it's Jones with his Yale fine arts background, or Nishida with his Gyotaku, or Livingstone with his farming heritage. But they're all pushing their mediums in new directions.
That's probably why Knight Brown chose them. The gallery has always been good at finding that sweet spot between innovation and tradition. And notice how all these artists came to their current work through such interesting paths. Nishida was an educator, Livingstone still farms, Nakamura started as a graffiti artist.
It really makes you think about the relationship between life experience and artistic expression, like how Chen's work reflects both her Chinese heritage and her California upbringing. None of these artists are doing just one thing, they're all synthesizing different influences.
And that's what makes contemporary art exciting, isn't it? When artists can draw from multiple traditions and experiences to create something new. This show really captures that energy.
Absolutely. And the timing is perfect, showing this in fall 2024, when we're all thinking about both tradition and change. These works feel very much of the moment, while still being connected to something deeper and more timeless.